It's fascinating when they say we've been on the market too long, pestering and hounding us with questions and suggestions that perhaps we've not prayed enough, we've not fasted enough, we've not put ourselves out there enough. They say our standards are higher than the Everest. And the amount of expressions that subconsciously insinuate that we are not complete without a ring on our finger. They stir up waves of discontent that spill over into oceans of desperation. And we begin to command the God of the universe to fulfill a wish list, tall, dark, loaded, as though these things guarantee success. We forget that only God can choose to take two and unite them as one, so we put a pause on purpose to pursue the things that Christ has already finished from the foundations of the world. We contort ourselves into mindless caricatures in the name of strategic positioning, killing ourselves at the altar of compromise to accommodate wolves who flirt between the lines of sin and perversion. We abandon our first love, start a whole new religion, worshipping hashtags on Bella Niger, shouting God when God's right beside us waiting for communion. See, God had to take this wandering Eve, hold back the very thing she desired more than him, showed her that like the Samaritan woman, she was hopping from human to human in search of carnal fire to fill a void only the Creator could fill. Led her to the fountains that never run dry, cursed her to drink and never thirst again. So dear fellow saint, I know the nights are cold and it feels like it's been 1,000 years and you want to dance underneath the stars, feeling the heartbeat of another against your skin, but first a word. To remember that we do not need another mortal to complete us. We are already complete in Him, the head over all. Before we rush to the altar, unfinished and unprepared, have we locked eyes with the architect of the universe. Let Him burn us with His holy flame and melt us into one with Himself. Are we keeping in step with the author of time, who invented chemistry and is in charge of our biological clocks? Have we sat with Him as He uncovers the hurt and brokenness in our foundations as healing begun? Have we learned the willing submission and unconditional love of the Son? Have we learned to express God's glory in anatomy while simultaneously yielding attraction so that He becomes the one that dictates our desires? So now let us return to wild, unapologetic pursuit of the one we were carved for. Let us return to bold, unashamed pursuit of our Father's business. Let us run into wild, open spaces, living out loud for Him. And in the fullness of time, according to His will, grace will spin us like a hurricane and leave us breathless as it brings us love that complements us in humanly impossible ways, love that mirrors the intimacy, individuality, and unity of Trinity, love that births revolutions and ignites awakenings where seeds go forth to shake the earth. And when they ask you, do not stutter. Do not hold back from speaking to them about the joy and the wholeness and satisfaction you have in Christ. Do not let shame have a voice. Where He has you is beautiful and perfect. When they ask you, tell them that it does not matter if this gift of singleness is for a season or for a lifetime. We are already complete, already safe, already home in the arms of the one who loves us without caution.